Hi everyone, my name is Sean. I'm your Osmond book consultant. I wanted to show you another line of books that the company carries. It is called Lift the Flap. This specific one is called Lift the Flap, Telling the Time. What's great about this book is that there's so much for the kids to explore on every single page. So if you look here, you've got what's in this book and it'll tell you, so kind of, essentially your table of contents. And then you've got telling the time. Time is the way we divide our day into seconds, minutes, and hours. And they've got the different flaps for the kids to lift. It takes a second to hiccup. So I like how they have taken, when you talk about second, that they're matching it to something that kids are very familiar with, and that's the hiccups. So if you open up the flap, it says there are 60 seconds in a minute. And there's the clock. And so you've got them making a comparison with a minute and then with the hour. And there's just so much to go along with this throughout the book. They do combine the usage of the analog clock and the digital clock, which is extremely important that kids still know how to do and read both of them. Whether you're in a state that does standardized testing or not, it's still really important. I know that they do test it on standardized testing, but it's still really important for kids to be able to utilize both clocks, and also the analog clock is one that they'll use a lot in school to show elapsed time. So as your child is getting closer into those upper grades, I remember we taught it in fourth, and then it was really reinforced in fifth grade. So that is just something to kind of pick up on as a parent. And one of the great things is as you go through the book of the Lift and Flap books, there's so much to interact on each page. So even here, when the big hand points at 12, the time is exactly on the hour. The little hand tells you which hour. So you've got the little hand right here. The little hand is pointing at 5. So even when you move the flap, it's not just a picture. Now there's still more information that is given behind the flap. The big hand is pointing at 12. So that's kind of an example there. We have started working with Kay on her telling time, and so we've combined this book with the Turn and Tell clock for Melissa and Doug. So again, it's got the analog clock, it's got the usage of the digital clock on here as well. So as we're finding times throughout the book, she's able to then go through and match them onto the Melissa and Doug Turn and Tell clock right away. And with her being 3, that's really great for her to be able to read about it and us read it to her, and then her be able to manipulate something to really reinforce that. So they don't just sell the Telling the Time book. We also have ones for students that are older. So sometimes we think of picture books as something that it's just for our babies, our 1-year-old and 2-year-olds and